There are a lot of IPS kits for the Game Boy Advance. I'm pretty sure I reviewed all of them, and I've also compared all of them in a totally separate video. And in that comparison video, I never gave a definitive answer as to which kit was the best. That's because I think it can be a bit subjective, and it can depend on your playstyle and your skill level. Generally, I think that the V2 and the V5 are the best for me. That's why I use those in the modded GBAs that I sell on my website, retroremaster.com. But when I made those videos well over a year ago, I was pretty much ready to give the V5 the crown. It just had a few glaring issues I could not look past. However, High Speed Edo has quietly refreshed the V5 kit to address most of the issues I had with it and add a new feature that a lot of you will love. Will that be enough to make this the definitive IPS kit for the GBA, or does it still just fall too short to take the throne? A couple things to get out of the way first. If you haven't watched my original review and or the comparison video, this video might be a little confusing to you. So I highly recommend watching those first because I'm not going to go over all that information in this video, and those will be linked below the like button. There also won't be a new tutorial that goes along with this because it's exactly the same process. Just don't try and tear apart the shielding like I did in the original tutorial. Instead, on the second channel, Jake64, you'll see a video of me finding and reacting to all the new stuff about this kit as I discover them. That will also be linked below the subscribe button. Also, to make sure we're all on the same page, the Spice Orange one is the original V5, and the Gold Pokemon one is the refreshed V5. But why shouldn't you try and remove the touchpads anymore? Well, because you can turn them off in the menu now. Hallelujah. I can't believe we had to wait through the minor falls and the major lifts to get that feature on any mod kits, but I am ecstatic. So now you aren't being punished for doing the soldering, and there still is an option for our solderless friends. Something else you'll notice in the menu is we now have a desaturation system. Now, I don't care about this at all, other than the fact that everyone who wanted this should stop whining to me about it now. There are 20 levels of saturation, 1 being black and white, and 20 being the max color blast. The reason this is even a thing is because a bunch of weirdos think that the IPS kit colors are too saturated. Since the GBA had no backlight, they had to juice the colors up in the software to get it to have any real color on the original hardware. So a loud group of people complain about wanting a backlit screen that mimics the original feel, which just doesn't make any sense because the original screen didn't have any light, so the only way you could make it the way they want it is to base it off of vibes. I'm just so tired of reading these comments because people complain to me like I'm the one that makes the screens. So you have 20 different variations to choose from, and if it still isn't right, I don't want to hear about it. I never cared. What I've always cared about the most around this kit is the power draw. We still have 15 levels of brightness here, and it still gets just as bright. However, the old one gets dimmer because it technically has a 0 level of brightness, but even at level 1, the old one is dimmer. A bit of a bummer, but at least the colors and the peak brightness are the same. And yes, the power draw is slightly less than the astronomical numbers it had before, but we still aren't sub 200 milliamps at the equal brightness level. I am happy with the lower power draw overall, but I do think we could still see better numbers when comparing it to everyone else. Those are all the differences in the refresh that I could find. Otherwise, everything is exactly the same as I stated in my original review. So go watch that if you want to learn more about this kit as a whole, and probably check the comparison video because the comparison video was like right after that. But I already told you to do that in the beginning, so why haven't you watched those videos yet? I'm looking at you, Paul. So do I think that the V5 is finally the definitive king? No. I still agree with the old me that it comes down to playstyle, skill level, and other preferences. But I do love this kit even more now, and it's even easier for me to recommend. If it wants to be the true king, it needs to be as bright as the V2, as dim as it used to be, and draw a little less power. However, I will still be selling these pre-modded on my website, retroremaster.com. And of course, if you want to do it on your own, I will have a link to the refreshed V5 kit down below the bell icon. And of course, those links will only work for those who are subscribed to the channel and have liked this video. So like, subscribe, and let me know what you think of this refreshed V5 kit in the comments down below. And of course, I will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. I changed the outro up on you guys. Didn't see that one coming, did ya?